The question is, fundamentally, one for the Prime Minister, and it's a bit odd that he's not here for the debate. It's a bit odd that he hasn't spoken in the debate. It's a bit odd that all he's done is said what he did today at Prime Minister's question time. I cannot believe that when he was about to appoint Peter Mandelson as the ambassador to Washington, he wasn't made fully aware of all of Peter Mandelson's record. He would have known the number of times Peter Mandelson was forced to resign, even from the Tony Blair government, because of his behaviour. He would have known all of that. He would have known Mandelson's record as an EU commissioner. He would have known Mandelson's record of an interesting relationship with global dealers in minerals and many other things. He would have known all of that, and yet he still went ahead, apparently despite Foreign Office and other advice, to appoint Mandelson as the ambassador to Washington. What a shame, what a disgrace, and what an appalling appointment to make. And we still don't even know if Mandelson is still being paid by the Foreign Office for that. And so I think today we've got to be very stern and very clear about this. There needs to be the fullest possible inquiry into all of this. Parliament is not competent to undertake this inquiry. The Cabinet Secretary is not competent. The civil service machine is not competent, because they've all been ensnared into this gilded, friendly web of Mandelson, the business contacts, the political contacts, the social contacts, under which favours were done, contracts apparently awarded, this ghastly company Palantir trying to get hold of our National Health Service, apparently at the behest of Mandelson and others. None of us here are competent to have that inquiry. That's why I intervened, and I thank those members that did give way earlier on how the inquiry should be conducted. I think it has to be on the basis of something judicially led, independent, and for the most part in the public eye. The member for Leeds East made a wonderful and very, very powerful speech, and I thank him for the reference he made to what Mandelson said and did about me when I was leader of the opposition and leader of the Labour Party. I can just confirm to the House, under my leadership, Mandelson had no role, no influence and no part to play, because I do not trust the man, I do not believe the man, and we need to make that very, very clear, because his role in British politics has been basically malign, undermining and essentially a very corrupting influence altogether. And so when we look at our politics, we need to look at the role that big money plays, the role that patronage plays, the role that turning a blind eye to crime plays, because that is what we end up with, the national embarrassment of Mandelson being the ambassador to Washington, apparently on the basis that it was a risk worth taking in order to please Donald Trump. Epstein was very, very powerful and very, very wealthy. And there are lots of people all around the world that were dragged into this ghastly web based on dishonesty, based on lies, based on corruption and based on patronage. It's up to us as MPs, to fess up to what's happened and make sure there is a genuinely open, independent inquiry into all of this, and we look ourselves in the mirror about the standards of democracy we have in our society. Let's have the open public inquiry that's necessary. Let's have the understanding that we are going to turn the page on the era of patronage, of the close relationship between commercial pressure groups and lobbying in the Lords and here and all around the media in our society, and really strive to build that open, fair, democratic society that we should all believe in. Those that suffered in order to gain universal suffrage and democracy didn't do that so we could develop a corrupt political system. They did it because they wanted an open, democratic, accountable system that worked for the benefit of the poorest in our society as well as everybody else. So let's pass that motion today. No deals, pass the motion, inquire with real seriousness into the horror show that we've heard about.